Good morning, everyone. On behalf of GT Goenka Public School, Sector 10, Gurugram, I and my fellow participants present here. I, Tejas Reddy, takes this opportunity to welcome all of you for today's web talk, Being Human. A world full of humans, but no humanity. The Stone Age has passed, but we still live with stone hearts. This is our little protest to be the people with kind and compassionate hearts in this huge world.
Today, we have gathered on this platform to discuss about the need of being human. Friends, I am wondering, what exactly do you understand by being human? Would any one of you like to shed some light on this?
Yes, of course, Charvi. I would like to put forward my thoughts on being human. I feel we are lucky enough to be born as a human being. But how many of us behave the same? Humans are the only species which have the capacity to think, remember, and show gratitude towards the Creator. But on the contrary, we seem to be turning out to be the most insensitive and destructive species of this universe.
So true, Dhruv. Recently, we heard about an inhumane act in Kerala where an elephant was brutally killed. Do we still call ourselves human? Is being a human so cruel?
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, commonly known as PETA, the largest animal rights organization, simply states that animals are not to be experimented with, eaten, worn, or used for entertainment. But the worldwide reports have proved the inhuman treatment of animals goes on, and in fact, it was one such experiment which led to the outbreak of COVID-19.
Today, keeping the same in mind, we have amongst us an eminent personality, Ms. Seri Chaudhary. Ma'am is the founder of Eco Foundation, which works towards the three E's: education, environment, and empowerment. She volunteers with MCG and district administration for various social work too.
Ma'am is also President Gurugram for NCCHWO registered with Niti Aayog. She is also a social activist who has worked with NGOs during this lockdown period as a corona warrior. We have the privilege today of interacting with Ms. Zinit Chaudhary and being a part of her insightful reflections. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, children. Good morning to everyone present here. And it's indeed a privilege for me also to be here and talking to you all, our next generation, our future generation. See, it's not only me, but it's you who are going to be the eco warriors of tomorrow. Whatever we are teaching you today, whatever you are learning, whatever I'm going to learn from you today, together definitely we are going to create changes which are much required. As told by Tejaswi, if I remember your name correctly. So as told by Tejaswi, like we have passed stone ages, but we are still stone-hearted. Yes, definitely. Many of us are sometimes doing certain, odd activities which are definitely inhuman in nature. And as told by one of you, like the elephant incident, that mother elephant incident in Kerala, that was also beyond thinking for us, for many of us, and indeed maybe for like 99% of us. So, but still, I would like to tell you, students, that 2 points I would like to tell you. First one, never lose your faith in humanity. Have faith, have hopes. Secondly, Humanity is like a vast ocean, and few dirty drops of water never, never going to make the whole ocean dirty. So there is a lot of people like you, like us, who wants the positive changes in the society. So let us look forward towards that. Be kind, be empathetic, and have hopes. Let me tell you one incident. Yes, 2 weeks back, this elephant incident happened in Kerala, and last week, again in Kerala itself, it happened like the forest department was going for some construction work. They were digging somewhere, and they found uh, eggs of the python, a rare species. So to preserve those eggs, forest department has taken the decision to stop the construction activity. So what you can find, simply is about everybody out there is not inhuman. So let us have our hopes high.
So, let's begin the pep talk on being human. To begin with, ma'am, humanity is a part of our daily life that is taken for granted, therefore largely ignored. How, in your opinion, ma'am, can we develop a human attitude?
Yes, definitely. See, the kindness is the best flower of humanity. So, first of all, we need to understand how we can be kind to others. Sometimes we are angry with people, sometimes we are finding them not doing certain things which are not acceptable by us, they are not up to the mark, they are frustrating us, but still when they need help, if we are able to help them, definitely we are kind enough. So second point is about acceptance. So we need to learn how to accept different type of people. Everybody is different. Every person has different upbringing. Every person has different set of rules for their life. So we need to accept certain things, and if we can go beyond that acceptance in helping others, definitely we will achieve the status of a kind heart. So sympathy towards the other people when they are in need and doing good for them. Whatever kind of help they are requiring, they may need food, they may need clothes, they may require some health assistance, or they may be simply a simple, a positive talk. So whatever is the requirement, if we are trying to do that with them after accepting them, so it is being kind.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on. The negative and powerful emotions like anger and hatred are the greatest hindrances to humanity, which can overwhelm our entire mind. What, according to you, ma'am, should be done to eradicate these from our minds?
Yes, that's a good question. Of course, we all get angry at certain point of time. We all feel hatred towards certain incidents, maybe towards certain other people. And both these emotions, and there are many more, are the negative emotions. And these emotions inhibit us from doing whatever good we want to do. So we need to control them. But how we can control them? There are two type of exercises, we can go for. First of all, whenever you are feeling angry, just simply sit quiet. Don't say anything. Smile and try to remember the incidents which gives you some happiness, or try to do certain other activity. So slowly that anger feeling will, it will be disposed of. And hatred is a very strong word, students. I must say there is nothing in this world which we should hate, because we don't know the other people's circumstances. We don't know other people's incidences in life, their learnings. And secondly, always different people always have different opinions. So we must, respect the opinion of other people. There may be differences, they may be different, they may not agree with us, but we cannot say that they are wrong. Maybe we are wrong, Maybe we have not analyzed the situation. Maybe our decisions are not so rational. So we need to learn to respect the opinion of other people. Once we will learn that, we will accept the difference in the opinion, and the difference in opinion, if we will accept, we will be able to learn a lot more than the required, and we will come out with the flying colors, with the good and the rational decisions.
Thank you, ma'am. Wow, that was surely enlightening. New CMI data shows mind-boggling rise in unemployment since India imposed a nationwide lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic. Among these, many are laborers who are below the poverty line. How, in your opinion, ma'am, should the privileged lot show their empathy and humanity towards these migrants in such hard times?
Surely, I must say, like when the government exercised lockdown 2 months back, approximately 2 months back, many daily wages people, they were almost on the roads. There was the issue of the food security, and food is the basic necessity of life. If anybody is facing the food insecurity, definitely their mind will be, it may go into any kind of destruction mode. They may turn into some theft kind of incidences. So what we should do, we are the privileged one. We have the all the opportunities of the education. We never have to think about the food, right? Suppose if we have to think about the food, what we are going to eat next in the next meal, it will be really very problematic situation. So that kind of feeling, if you will think with such kind of emotions, definitely you will feel so empathetic and you will try to help those people. You can help with different, there are different ways you can help out. If there are laborers around you, they are living in your closed vicinity, so directly you can provide food and the other basic necessity items. But if there is nobody and still you want to help, then you can contact certain social organizations. There are NGOs working in this regard, and even the government has provided, they have ensured it that nobody sleeps hungry. Our chief minister before lockdown has appealed to everyone, every privileged one, that nobody should sleep hungry. So we have ensured it during this lockdown period, and you could have done that also. So it's about the identifying the needy people and what are the needs. Do they need some assistance into food security, or the clothing, or the health assistance? So accordingly, we can contact the person who are out there helping them, and they will come and help them. It is not always required that you have to go out and help in this pandemic times. But yes, somebody is working there, somebody is out there, we can find out, but we have to do this work to identify.
It's so true, ma'am. According to me, human attitude, reason, patience are the most powerful antidotes to anger. Unfortunately, many people misjudge these qualities as sign of weakness. Would you like to throw some light upon it, Janit, ma'am?
Yes, you are quite right. When we are being patient, when we are polite, when we are kind enough, people think that we are weak, but that is not true. And why they think we are weak? Because our society has gone through that kind of upbringing in many segments of the society, where people wants to, force their own ideas on others by aggression, maybe by being impatient. So the forceful implications sometimes have led them into the short-term gains. So that they think this is the mantra for the success. But that's not true. When we are patient enough, when we are kind enough, when we are polite enough, we are thinking rationally. We are judging the situation. We are weighing our pros and cons. So by the time we will take the decision, we will be having all the data with us. Our decision will be a rational one and it will be a thoughtful one, and we are not going to harm anyone. So at the end, the person who is ensuring to be patient enough and kind enough will come out with the flying colors and a good decision maker. So finally, they will be accepted in the society as the cool, calm, and patient people, as the good leadership qualities. This is one among the highly effective habit of the highly successful people.
Thank you, ma'am. Recently, the farmers in India faced the locust madness, due to which they suffered a huge loss as their crops and vegetables were ruined. In your opinion, ma'am, how can we as humans contribute when we ourselves are quarantined due to COVID-19?
Are working at the grassroots level of India. We Indians are the agro-based economy. So without our farmers, it will be really difficult for us to survive, to sustain. And recently, many problems are happening due to this pandemic. The supply chain management, where the farmers were able to get the seeds and they were able to get the implements for the farming and cropping for the produce, and after harvesting to take their produce to the desired locations, because there are the fixed location to sell the agronomic based products. So the supply chain management was disrupted, and moreover this locust menace. So all of these things are making it really very difficult for the farmers to sustain. Now what we can do? First of all, we try to avoid doing hard bargaining with the farmers. Secondly, we can help them in any type of supply chain management. If we can associate with certain organizations where we can provide them seeds at their at their farms wherever they are growing, or we may help them in selling their produce at the desired places. So that is one kind of help we can do. Secondly, if we are living in an area where farmers are directly in contact with us, so what we can do, we can directly procure the things from the farmers. So that is how we can help out the farmers.
Thank you, ma'am. My question to you is that how can we show our empathy towards the people who lost everything in the tropical cyclone Amphan in Odisha very recently?
Yes, very good indeed. Like it is again, if we are kind enough, if we can try to sustain with minimum resources, definitely whatever we have, we can share with the other people. And we know that Odisha and West Bengal, these are the cyclone prone areas. Almost every year, people over there are facing sometimes floods, sometimes cyclones, sometimes storms. So we can help the local government over there in exercising certain, certain strategies where we can help with the some amount of money, or maybe we can provide health assistance. Maybe we can help them in providing dry ration during this time. Like my organization right now, we are trying to procure sanitation products. So all kind of sanitation products, because this is the necessity, and it gets overlooked because it is not the basic necessity, but it is very important during this time. So we are trying to procure that, and we are going to provide, to those people with the sanitation products. So whatever you feel like, whatever you have extra in your cupboards, go through that. Whatever you do not require or you are not going to use in next 6 months, so those things you can donate, and be generous in donating, and you will find the joy of giving. You can find out about the social organizations or through the government channel, or if you know somebody over there, you can collaborate things with these links, and you can donate. You can try to start a donation drive with your friends, and you can help out the needy people over there.
I never thought of it that way. Thank you, ma'am. Now, coming to our ongoing crisis of COVID-19. How do you think, ma'am, we can help the infected person who is quarantined and passing through physical and mental trauma?
First of all, student, you should not panic, because this is a situation when we find that somebody in our very close locality, or maybe our neighbors, if we find somebody is tested positive, so everybody starts panicking. Even we, our family, other neighbors, and the person who is suffering from this disease. So panic is not going to cure anything. Panic can't be the solution. So what we can do? We can't even go out because it's a very contagious disease. We may get infected, then there's no point of helping the others. So we need to be the motivator in this condition. We can call the family, we can tell them that whatever are your requirements, we as your neighbors are going to take care of it. Don't worry, you will be all right in some time. Just follow the guidelines which are, the government has issued or the local administration has issued. They and we, everybody has to follow the guidelines issued by the health department, and definitely by helping others together, unitedly, we are going to fight this corona. Otherwise, there is no way out. So we have to save ourselves. We have to ensure the safety of ourselves, our family, and we have to help others as well. So talk positive, boost their morale. It will help them, because happiness and positive thoughts are always going to, like a booster for your immunity.
We have observed people making videos of the sufferings of the person instead of helping him. So my question to you, ma'am, is what can be done to generate compassion among the people in today's time?
Yeah, that again, one of the problem we see whenever somebody is in need, and few people starts clicking the pictures of the needy, or they start making videos. And moreover, in these times, we can't ask anyone not to behave in this manner. It becomes a bit rude. It may cause conflicts among other people. So what we can do? Simply, first of all, we have to be kind. We have to do our bit of generosity. We need to do certain act of what needs to be done. That we have to start. Politely, we can ask people, instead of making videos or pics, please help me in this. Because when you are going to circulate these videos or pics on the social medias, it creates a type of negativity where people find negative emotions emerging out, and negative emotions again inhibits the habit of helping others. But when you are doing something for the others, people who are seeing you, they will find it very very kind gesture, and they will feel compassionate towards it. And finally, you do your bit and everything will fall into place. So that is my suggestion. Keep doing your good and people will follow you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you truly are a source of inspiration to us and inspired by you. How can we also become true corona warriors and contribute to the society in this difficult time?
First of all, how can you say that you are not corona warriors? In my eyes, the children are the most of the children are corona warriors. See how much things you have done, you have learned during this lockdown period. You are the segment of society which is most energetic one, and you people are locked inside their houses, and like you are not going to school, not meeting with your friends, but you know how you have done it so nicely, so beautifully. You have learned so many things. Today we are connected through so wonderful technologies. We are talking about being good, doing good for others. So sitting at home now, there are n number of ideas which can make you successful in helping others. You have been helping your parents, you have been helping your friends over the phone, you have been helping your siblings, and moreover, if your grandparents are there, who always needed so much of your time. But when you were going to school, when you were doing other things, playing outside, we never had a chance of spending so much of time with the elders. So now all of you are doing this. We are connected as a community, we are connected as a family, and moreover you have been learning a lot. Maybe few of you are doing home composting, maybe you are segregating your wet waste, maybe you are by doing this you are reducing the burden on our landfills, and you are reducing the burden of work of the you know, the helpers, the segment with the sanitation staff. So they are our frontline warriors. So by doing such things at home, many students are helping sanitation staff. So how can we say that you are not Corona warriors? You are definitely Corona warriors, and who are going to come out with, you know, flying colors.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to know what other steps can be taken to spread awareness among the people towards the safety measures from COVID-19.
Yes, definitely. So first of all, you have to be aware about all the guidelines issued by the health department, by the administration, and by the government, because they are taking decisions after going through a lot of data. So once you will be aware what needs to be done and what needs to be avoided, then follow all these instructions. First of all, you have to follow, then you have to ensure that your all family members follow this routine, and then you can guide your friends, then you can make even small videos, you can circulate your videos asking, appealing people not to do certain things and what they can do. Like when you are walking in a park area, there should be 9 feet of the gap between two people, and if you are in a hospital or any other public place, there should be 13 feet of the difference, and if you are sitting at your home, minimum 3 feet of the social distancing is required. Corona is not like by touching it is going to spread, but definitely this social distancing is very much compulsory. Wearing mask, not spitting in the public, and you can aware even the weaker segment of the society about this. You can tell your mates, you can tell over telephonically to many other people. Some simple facts that can be done. So that's how you can aware other people in the society.
Even though this period of lockdown is difficult, but it surely has done some good too. We can see that the environment is healing itself gradually because of it. So my question to you, ma'am, is how compassion towards the environment lead to a kind and a healthy heart?
Yes, see, at today's talk, we started with being compassionate, and we started with certain deeds done by some human which is not human, very inhumane, odd activities like elephant wala jo case hai, right? So, because see, we human beings are not the only species who is living on the earth. We have not created the earth, we have not created any other species, but as told by you, we are thinkers. So by thinking, we have tried to control nature. And by controlling nature, what we are facing now, we have polluted every type of environment. We have polluted our all resources. We have been using them more than the required. So now what? We have imbalanced our ecosystem, and ecosystem is very much necessary for our survival and for the survival of the other species. We cannot say that we are more important than the other species. See, I'll give you one example. Like there are 500 type of earthworms present on the earth. Out of those 500, 7 type of species are present in India. But why we are associating with the earthworm? Why I'm talking about earthworms? We say earthworms are farmers' friend. Why so? Because they are aerating the soil. Their excreta is very much highly nutrient compost for the soil. And if the earthworms are there, soil will be enriched naturally. Farmers don't have to add pesticides and fertilizers, and then that means we are using less chemicals, so our environment will be more healthy. That means earthworm is really important. And during this lockdown period, students, we have seen more clearer skies. The blue color of the skies was visible. We have seen many type of the birds, chirping of the birds in the morning. Our rivers are more clearer and cleaner than before. You may not be knowing, but Ganga, one of the our a major river, our sacred river, was polluted so much that in 1985 government has decided Ganga Action Plan. But in the past almost 35 years, they were unable to clean Ganga. But this 50 days of lockdown has done marvelous job because our activities were banned at that time. So the river is less polluted. That is how I see about about environment and human activities. So certainly we need to reduce our carbon footprint. We need to reduce our unnecessary activities. We have to think about environment and ecosystem. It is really important for the coexistence of human beings with other living organisms.
That was lovely, ma'am. Thank you. What do you think should be the learnings from this lockdown period, and how can these learnings contribute in leading a happy life?
Okay, so you see, during this lockdown period, we have understood that we are not the creators. There may be a small organism who is not even living, because viruses are on the verge of living and non-living. Who is not even living can make us stop our activities, and we have been spending a lot of time with our loved ones. We have been more disciplined. We have learned the value of hygiene and sanitation. We have learned about coexistence, as I spoke earlier. And now today here we are speaking about being, how to being more good, more kind, more sympathetic, how to inculcate the more empathetic characteristics in us. If there wouldn't have been lockdown, we were also not going to speak about these qualities. So isn't it a beautiful outcome of the lockdown? Though the virus is really dangerous, it is even going to cause more problem in the coming future, but we have learned our lesson. I hope so. We are trying to be more kind and more human so that we can find, and in future we do not get exposed to certain such kind of pandemic diseases.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the very distinguished Ms. Zenit Chaudhary, who has shared her rich and valuable experience with us today on being human. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time taken out of your busy schedule. We shall cherish every word of yours and definitely try and become better human beings. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you, children.
Very good.
Indeed, it was quite a enchanting experience for me as well. And I'm really happy to see that our next generation is so keen on learning, being good and being kind. So best wishes to everyone and be human.
Every good thing must come to an end. Today's web talk was extremely liberating and enlightening and has definitely left a mark on us. I, Subhendu Jana, would like to express my deepest appreciation to all the very esteemed members of the school management of GD Goenka Public School, Sector 10A, Gurugram, for providing us with this opportunity and platform to conduct this web talk and improve our learnings. A big thank you to all sirs. I also take this opportunity to express our gratitude to our headmistress ma'am, Miss Nikita ma'am, who is the brain child behind web talk and has been a source of constant support and encouragement to all of us. I would like to extend my thanks to our coordinator ma'am and teachers who have been instrumental in the successful completion of this event. A big thanks to all wonderful parents for devoting their time and listening us very patiently. You all are truly a source of motivation to us. I would heartily thank all my fellow friends, Tejashri, Dhruv, Charvi, Adya and Shivam, who put in all their efforts to make today's event a success.
May your blessings be many and your troubles be few. May you feel God's presence in all you say and do. Signing off for now. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you and have a great day ahead.